Hi, and welcome to the HR Link, where we have people-first conversations that centre around the humans inside your business. I'm Amy from Grounded HR, and my superpower lies in my ability to zero in on the individual to bring out their unique strengths, whilst helping values-led Australian businesses lead their teams with confidence and care. Here you'll find simple, people-first HR conversations and tips to take the stress out of managing your team and put the humans at the centre of everything. So let's jump in. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today we are talking about all the things that you do and probably don't need with regard to setting yourself up with templates and structures and all of those kind of things. There are so many things out there that look really fancy and you could purchase and download. You know, I know so many people who have been drawn into expensive subscriptions for some big companies because they have all these amazing templates and all of those kind of things, but none of them are really tailored to you. They literally stick your logo on them, and that is all the tailoring that is provided. So where do you start? What is the thing that is going to move your business forward, that's going to make it easier for you as the business owner? So let's talk about that today. Let's talk about what structures you should have in your business, what ones are nice to have as you grow, and then the things that you probably don't need when you're a small to medium business. So too many things can be so overwhelming, and I am a really big believer in having systems that work, that are supportive, and that reduce the overwhelm. So let's talk about how simple this can be. What do you actually need as a business owner? So here's my essentials. My essentials are employment contracts. You should have employment contracts that have been prepared for you, that are not a generic template, that are tailored to the award that is, or awards that are applicable to your business. Attached to that, you should always have job descriptions. Now, these job descriptions shouldn't be just a list of tasks. A job description should include things like your mission, your vision, and your values of your business and the culture that you're trying to create. It should give you a position overview of what's the overall outcome, or what is this position trying to achieve within the business. It should then break down into sections of what the key responsibilities are and what does success look like. If we don't tell employees what success looks like, then how are they supposed to know what they're doing or what the expectations are? The next thing that I see as essential in the business is a core set of policies. Now, these kinds of policies are things that protect safety, protect behavior, or communicate expectations like codes of conduct and those kinds of things. It has policies around questions that you get asked all the time. So what are the things that your employees are coming to you that you could put into a policy so that you don't have to answer that question 1,000 times? They are the core policies you need within the business. The next thing you need are compliant employee records. You need to make sure that you are collecting the records that you're required to collect by the legislation. You need to make sure that those records are kept up to date. You also need to make sure that they're stored in a really safe and compliant way. So they need to be kept confidential with only the required people seeing those documents and having access to those. The final part of this essential process is performance management. You should have a simple performance review process that is supportive of your business and tailored to your business. Now, this should include things around a template that supports a conversation. It should be a process of what happens during the performance review process, and also what happens when there's underperformance or issues in place, and what process do we follow. having these ones specifically in place takes away the decision making from you, because it's a clear process around what you need to do. Next, I want to talk about the things that are nice to have as you grow. Now, HR software is a really supportive way to grow your business, but also take away some of the manual processes in your business. Now, I'm not talking about really big, expensive HR software. There are some really cost-effective programs out there that I've implemented for my clients and that have really taken away some of the admin burden from them. Think e-signing of contracts, easy workflows that take a person through an onboarding process, certifications, making sure that we know when the expiry dates are and we collect that information, and automations that happen through that process. So that is actually one of the things that I've implemented and built for my clients that has really taken away some of that overwhelm for them. Another thing that can be really helpful as you grow is looking at some competency frameworks. Now, this is looking at what skills do we have across the organization and where are the gaps? Where are the spots where I'm having to put my skills and experience to use in the business? Is that from a strategic level, or do I need to bring someone in to take those tasks off my plate so I can focus in a strategic way? The final part that I want to talk about here is a full policy library. Now, I like to implement a full policy and procedure manual into small businesses as they grow. The reason for that is we want to set expectations from a point where that everybody knows from the day of onboarding what our expectations are. And by having that in one document, in one place, it's really easy to manage, keep it up to date, but also to share that with our employees. Now, complete HR software is absolutely a nice to have, but you probably don't need it. There's so many things in those software that are not necessary depending on your size. For me, most of my clients get to a point of around 30, 40, sometimes even 50 employees before they will implement a full HR software. At that point, that's where it gets so much easier to utilize a software to manage employees and keep all the information flowing in a really intentional way. What I want to flag here is that the system that suits one business is not necessarily going to suit another. You need to make sure that you seek out the right advice and also seek out information on different systems that are available to you to utilize for your business. Because the most complex system might look great and fancy and the salespeople might really draw you in, but is it really going to be a system that suits the way your business works? Now, I know that there are a number of industries where specific industry-based systems are really, really supportive. And then there's other industries where there are no specific industry-based programs that they can use. So really make sure that you're doing your research when you look to build these systems and get the support to create the systems in your business. Because generic templates and things that don't actually reflect the way that your business works are not going to support you through this process. They are going to be a hindrance and not actually take work off your plate. So an example of how I've done this with a client is that we're a growing business. They had a number of part-time employees. Most of their workforce are part-time, And there was specific challenges that came with that. What we did was we did a full review of their employment contracts. We made sure that they were on the right awards, and it did involve some of their positions in their organisation moving across to a different award because I provided additional context and understanding there. We also then created brand new job descriptions that included all of those things that I outlined previously to make sure that the culture work and the values that they had for their business were communicated really clearly, and that the job description could be used as a talking point when we came to performance reviews. We also then implemented a new HR software. It's called Can You, and it is an Australian-based platform that is made for small business. And it's so versatile and can be built in so many different ways depending on your imagination that we were able to implement a really great workflow system for them that in a really cost-effective way. The last thing we did was performance management. We set up a full performance management system and made sure that the policies that they have in place were clear and well articulated and compliant, and we built out the policies associated with the performance management process. Now, the comments I got from their employees were just glowing that the system we had created was really tailored to them and really reflected the business that they've created, because like me, a lot of them had come from a corporate space where performance reviews and policies and procedures and all of those kinds of things felt really inauthentic and not tailored to the person. But we were lucky enough, I was given the opportunity to create that for them. So I want to show you that a simple system like what I created for that client is actually going to be really supportive, and it's going to outperform any complex system that you don't actually use correctly in your business. If you are called to, we can absolutely have a conversation about how I might be able to implement a system like this for your business. We have, project-based work where you're able to get your contracts and things like that and policies and procedures all built. But we also have an ongoing support option in the HR link that will allow you to have the ongoing support and have conversations with us to talk about what you should implement next. So if you would like to get in touch with that, please jump onto our website, groundedhr.com.au, and check out our options and support options for you. I hope you have an amazing week, and until next time, we'll chat then. Thanks for joining me today on the HR Link. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you hit subscribe or follow so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. We always aim to help you lead your team with confidence and care. And if you're ready to take the next step, I encourage you to explore the HR Link. It's your HR partner in your pocket. We provide practical, people-first support to Aussie Australian businesses. You'll find the link below. But up until next time, keep leading with clarity, care, and confidence, and we'll see you then.